life, as I remember in Puerto Rico, was my father leaving for the U.S. in 1950 and coming to the U.S. all by himself and leaving us back home. And then when he got a job, he decided that he's going to send us tickets to come here to Michigan, and he never did. So Mom sold everything that we had in the house and bought tickets, and we came to
Around a
America.
few times, based I think on my dad's job, just kind of moving up and making each move better with each situation, with each school, improving and moving. I remember living in Hamtramck for a while too. That was interesting, but I just remember walking around in the neighborhood. Remember being in kindergarten. Remember my mom making us dress in uniforms, which is really embarrassing when you're little, because in Puerto Rico they make you dress in uniforms, and it's a lot easier for the parents to dress their kids in uniforms because it's a lot cheaper. And my sister and I didn't get that because all the other kids would go to school in regular clothes, and we were the only knuckleheads in uniforms, which is really embarrassing, but that was just the way it is. Trying to talk a Puerto Rican mother into letting you wear normal clothes was a hoot, but then we moved into a different house and out of the uniforms, and then eventually we moved to a house in the outskirts of Detroit, and we lived there for quite some time until the neighborhood started getting really bad. Then my dad had actually transferred over to Rockford, Illinois, because Chrysler was doing poorly and a lot of people were losing their jobs. So they moved out of the Detroit area over to Rockford, Illinois, and my sister and I stayed, and we moved to the Farmington Hills area. So but again, each move was an improvement, and family was always a big part of it, and family wasn't too far away each and every time, so that was kind of cool.
More things to do, more opportunities. Life was tough because Dad didn't earn that much money, and then he got laid off, and there was no such thing as welfare, and we got some help. I don't know if it was from the Catholic, the church diocese that gave out clothing and stuff to people that didn't have a whole lot of things, and they helped us out in that regard. But we always had food on the table, and the rent got paid, all the bills. Mom never really learned the language, but we managed. And then later on, well, I went to school, and I went to the 10th grade, and then I dropped out of school. Well, after my dad settled in, after 3 years of being settled in, my dad decided to have my brother-in-law move to the U.S. with us. And because we didn't have the necessary funds for a large apartment, we lived in a one-bedroom apartment in Detroit. My sister, my brother-in-law, and my two nieces moved in with us, and Mom gave them the bedroom, and Mom and Dad and myself and my brother, we had the living room. We had each had a bed in the living room. It was big enough, so we all were in this big old living room until my brother-in-law was able to get a job and move out on his own.
I think Puerto Rico is best as the 51st state of the United States of America, because living here, I see how the structure is much better than it is in Puerto Rico. There's very little structure in Puerto Rico in terms of the way the government is ran. I don't think that I don't think that they take things seriously. I think that some things are a game to them, and I don't think they see the people as what is most important. I think that the people in government see that themselves as what's more important, and I think it reflects all the way down. I don't see that the police are very good at doing their job, and I don't understand that because they let a lot of things go by that would never go by here.
It's been 59 years come August, and I have visited the island many times, and it seems like every time that I go, instead of going forward, it goes backward in time. Health care sucks. It's useless. People have to get up in the wee hours of the morning to get in line to see a doctor. Utility services, they stink. They're good for nothing. They overcharge the population that really have no jobs and no ways of paying their bills. I think they have an abuse of government. It's not well run. They get into power and they pocket whatever they can. They fill their pockets, and then they leave office, and they leave it for the next person that comes in to clean up the mess. And the way things stand right now, I believe that Puerto Rico should be a U.S. state.
No.
Instead of independent. If we're independent, if we were truly independent, there is no way the island can survive. It would become another Cuba. We have no way of maintaining the island. No way of maintaining the island. The island would sink because there would be no money and no help for anyone. The people that would be running the island are the ones that are going to fill their pockets with the money there is. And in my heart of hearts, I believe that Puerto Rico should become a state. After all, we're already paying taxes. If we're paying taxes, then we might as well become a state. Personally, I would rather Puerto Rico become the 51st state, and the reason being that right now, Puerto Ricans can vote in the U.S. elections, but they cannot vote in the elections in Puerto Rico. They can only vote for their governor and whomever else runs the island. But right now we cannot vote. Our vote does not count. If we move to the U.S., then the vote counts. But if we try to vote over there for a president of the United States, we cannot vote, cast our vote. And therefore, if that's the case, then I would rather Puerto Rico become a state. Because I want to be able to, if I'm in Puerto Rico and I vote in America, I want to be able to cast my vote as a U.S. citizen. And furthermore, what about the military? The military are doing the same thing as they are in the United States. They're dying for this country. And so therefore, we should be able to vote. I don't know why that upsets me.
What happened?
People are giving their lives, they're dying for this country, and then they can't even cast a vote.
Why does that upset you?
Because people are dying just like they are here. U.S. citizens are dying in the military, and the ones over there are dying, and then their vote doesn't even count.
So you believe that Puerto Ricans, because they give their lives for America, they should automatically have that vote?
They should be included in the vote.